Hey, I had in September 22 undiagnosed Crohn's and a blocked large intestine that just about killed me.
Why did they finally diagnose it? What happened that you decided to go to the hospital?
Well, I went to a doc in the box, and they told me to make an appointment with a GI guy, and that was a month out. But the next day, my wife drove me to Good Sam's in Puyallup, and I was in there within 3 hours. I was on the table, and they took out a ruptured 18 inches of bowel. And,
wow. What do you think? I mean,
that's a band name, 18 inches of bowel.
Back to the food game we all play when we get sick or whatever. Was it the steak? What do you think bound y'all up?
I think it was going on for a long time, but I just was getting sicker and sicker and eating less and less.
And what exactly, we've all heard of Crohn's disease, but what is it exactly? What has gone wrong?
It's where your body starts attacking your intestines, thinking the white cells attack your intestines.
Okay, that is a problem. I can see how that goes wrong.
And there was nothing you did, diet-wise or lifestyle-wise, that would contribute to this. It just happened to you, right?
Well, I do like my beer, so I'm sure that my diet and lifestyle probably contributed to it somehow.
But did the doctors say any connection between like beer or alcohol and Crohn's disease?
No.
Okay.
And so did you change your diet? Are you on like a Mediterranean diet now, or
I still like my beer, but it took a lot of, they after they did all my plumbing, they put me on a colostomy bag for a year and a half.
Ooh.
And and then they got me on the right, injections to stop the Crohn's. And then I got reconnected in February 2024.
Oh, so you opened up the restaurant again?
Yeah.
So what was it like taking a poop for the first time in a year and a half?
Boy, it's the best thing ever.
Yeah. I mean, you don't
cry?
know what you got until it's gone, right?
Exactly.
It's like, oh, man.
I did it.
Now, when you have a colostomy bag, are you aware when you're pooping, or is it just happening?
Oh, you're definitely aware. I mean, I had a Hartman's pouch, which is just to the left of your belly button.
All right.
And it's obvious what you got there. It's a quart-sized bag at least.
Is it full time, or does it just like when you would have a bowel movement? Like you have it all at once, and then you're pretty well done. I mean, sometimes you get a couple in the morning, but or is it just a continuous drip, so to speak?
Oh no, it's I'd have a couple cups of coffee in the morning, and we know what that does.
Sure.
And so I'd get that done, and then for the rest of the day, I was pretty well good, and then like in the evening, maybe a little bit after I eat dinner, but then just start the next day pretty much the same routine.
Well, when you wake up, is it full?
No.
Okay, so it still operates kind of the same as your body would.
Yeah, for the most part.
All right. Okay.
And is it a reusable bag? In other words, you empty it, rinse it, put it back on, or do you have disposable bags?
Well, there's a way to empty it and just clean it up really good and put it back on. I used to change mine like 3 times a week.
Okay. And then just put a sandwich in there afterward. Ham and cheese.
Because you have like a wax ring that
you don't want to waste the bag.
Into, and it in a way it is kind of like a Ziploc, because you have a wax ring that you put on there that has a Ziploc thing that hooks the bag onto.
Did you ever not do that properly?
The first time I did it, I did not seal it properly. And
I'm guessing that never happened again.
I never did it again.
Yeah. My best shirt. It's like wearing white to a barbecue place. Uh-huh. What is the sickest you've ever been? 206-803-ROCK.
Yeah, I had a teacher in high school, right? And he taught. He was the track coach and this and that. He's a small dude, but he wore the baggiest shirts.
Okay.
So one day after class, I was just like, why do you wear it? And he's like, well, I have a colostomy bag. I was like, oh.
Was he out there running as well, or just coaching? I just feel like about a colostomy bag, the last thing, track, cross country, maybe, track.
Man, I think he still ran.
Really?
Well,
I just don't know how secure those things are. Exactly. I mean, I'm telling you, I know nothing about it, but it just seems like track, where you're in full sprint from the time you start and have a colostomy bag.
Well, I had a grandma that had one. I did
He
not
was
know
definitely
this.
the long distance coach part of the track.
That does help.
Right, he
Okay.
is not.
Yeah.
He was not,
Hand on the 50-meter dash. Yeah, I was like, bro,
he's
that
not
just
doing
seems
the 100.
My grandmother was she was very proud, so to speak, and she didn't talk about her medical stuff.
Yeah.
But she was strict, but she had a colostomy bag. And we just thought as kids that she did not like to hug us. She did not want to pick us up. She was just kind of a cold bitch. That's cool. I mean, you love her. You love her. Okay. But I mean, we all just thought that because we did not know
As
that.
children.
we
thought she was a cold bitch.
Yeah, exactly. Like grandma's
As most little kids
grandma's
do.
mean. She won't hug
Well, I
you.
get that, but just as a kid.
Yeah, I know. You know what I'm saying? It's just like everybody's like, yeah, she is who she is.
How old
maybe
were
she
you?
doesn't like kids.
How old were you when you found out, like, that's why she's not
By
doing
the time I was an adult, I was like, that explains everything.
Yeah, well, sure.
Yeah, I just didn't know at the time. What is the sickest you've ever been? 206-803-ROCK.
Cold bitch,
Go bitch, man.
Go bitch grandma.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, she give you presents and stuff. You just couldn't get a hug.
Yeah. Okay. Hello, Denise. Welcome to the men's room.
Thank you.
Hola.
I hope you guys are having a great day.
Yeah,
Thank
man.
you too.
I was sick out on the road. I've been on the road most of my life, well, half my life, being an entertainment truck driver, and I was starting out the NASCAR circuit, and I spent about, every 200 miles on the side of the road sitting on the Peterbilt step projectile vomiting because I didn't know my gallbladder was about to explode like the other lady.
How long were these symptoms showing?
I'm kind of stubborn and kind of an idiot and didn't want to miss work, and I wanted to keep my body parts. I'm running out of extra ones, so I tried to keep it for about a year. So every, 3 months you'd spend throwing up everything you ate for the last 3 days.
But did you know at the time that it was your gallbladder?
Nah, I've got a lot of allergies too, so I thought maybe it was an allergic reaction to something. And no, I actually didn't find out till I came back home that it was the gallbladder. And they're like, yeah, you kind of need to have it out. And I made a couple of trips to the ER to get pumped up with fluids and just wanted to keep working through the season. And then I made one trip one night, and pretty much my vision was going. I was going completely black, and just all kinds of things were going wrong. And it was like, she was like, well, I think it's, and then all of a sudden the doctor said the S word and was like, your infection marker is supposed to be below like 18, and it was like over 500. So she's like, you're going to the hospital tonight. So
what is your biggest, are you still a driver?
Yeah.
What is your biggest threat? Deep vein thrombosis, or like what? Just being on your ass for that long of a time. What do you need to look out for?
It just seems like, because we're driving so many miles and you drink caffeine and you kill your kidneys, and I'm in my 50s now, so like all my friends are slowly like disappearing off Facebook because they croak. So it's like, the food out there it's all rich and
well, it's NASCAR. They're not going to pull into San Francisco for sushi.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Right, you're eating chili dogs down in Martinsville.
You're stopping at
I mean, it sounds delicious.
You're living at a Perkins.
Did you drive for like tours, like music tours as well, or just NASCAR?
I started out in the tour business. I was in grocery, and I was like, I'm tired of this. I'm going to go do something fun. And one of the guys was out on the road, and he said, well, how about rock and roll? And I was like, yeah, how do you do that? And the next thing I know, like 2 weeks later, I'm out on the road doing, I started out with the Eagles, and then went to Springsteen and Billy Joel, Elton, you name it.
What was the biggest caravan of the tours you were on? As far as the number of trucks, the number of... Yeah.
That was my second tour, and that was there was 3 sets of 90 trucks on the Rolling Stones, but Jesus. I ended up not doing that one and going out to Springsteen. They asked me to be the lead on that, and it was my first lead ever, and it was 13 trucks, but we only had 7 drivers, so we actually had to piggyback everything, and half the guys were from Canada and only spoke French, so it was really an interesting tour.
Well, dude, just Nils Lofgren waved to you and say, hey, how you doing? How's your day?
Pardon?
Like Nils Lofgren or anybody in the band. I mean, do they recognize you since you're working with them?
Oh, good Lord, yeah. It was so awesome because, like, Carlos Santana was one of my longest tours, and he actually, I got mad at the company I was with at the time and came back home for a bit, and they said, you either get her back or we're going to quit you, which they did. They ended up going with a different company for a while. because I wouldn't go in. But Carlos would come out and eat dinner with us. He'd come out and pat you. He was the most awesome because he'd come out and pat you on the back at the end of the night.
Well, the
tell you
problem
how
is,
great you were after he did a 5-hour show. So
Yeah, that's awesome.
with your CDL license, the best thing that Carlos has got is weed. I've gotten stoned on his bus before. It's really good, but you can't do that. See,
What is your average day like when you're out on these big ass tours? Like you said, Springsteen, Billy Joel, all this stuff.
We were talking about that. We've talked about it a lot lately for some reason. I don't know, we're all reminiscing, but because we went into television after that, and it's 5-star hotels and being spoiled. But when you're out on the road and the parking lots and the dirt tours and all that, it's just you drive all night, and a lot of times it's not exactly. Nowadays it's getting where you have to be legal, but back then it wasn't. And it was like they just pay you a lot of money to do it. So you drive all night, get there just dead, load in, go eat, lay down, get back up, load out, drive all night again. And that was just every night after night after night.
but you're also sleeping in your truck, and I'm sure that with the size of that equipment, it's not exactly peaceful to be, unloading,
Lord,
loading
no.
in, and trying to get a nap.
Well, and just sound check, when you'd be, especially with Springsteen, he wanted to blow everybody out, and he wanted them to sound like it was like right in their ears in a headphone. So if you were backed up to anywhere near the dock or whatever, if you couldn't get away, you cannot carry on a conversation with somebody on the phone.
You start getting sick of the music after a while. Like you could love Springsteen, but when you hear the same song
I
night
hate
after,
peaceful, easy feeling.
and you're not in the band playing and having the adrenaline rush, you're not in the crowd having the time of your life. Like you're just tired and really don't feel like hearing this ass.
Sometimes, the tired and not being able to sleep thing, but no, it actually works exactly the opposite. I was pretty much a country girl when I went out there, and I ended up liking the Strokes and you name it, anybody that I went out with, because you start to listen to it and realize that their musical talent and ability, no matter what genre it's in, is just amazing, for most of those artists that get to that level.
Also, man, there are some dark areas in this country as far as radio goes. I just drove to one to see my mom and grandma in West Virginia. There were 6 country stations. And that was it, I think, for the most part. I mean, they wanted to do a classic country station. They did a new country station. They were fighting with another new country station.
But you know your audience.
Yeah, I mean, that was it. I was just like, they don't like rock. I mean, you don't have one like classic rock station, or I can't get a double shot of Foreigner or wherever the hell it is.
Right.
Middle of nowhere.
Some of those tours, too, right? Like, my buddy does it for a living, but he works for a massive artist. So, like, his backstage, like, that food is awesome.
So he gets hooked up all the time.
Well, like, he plans the menu and everything. So, all the people that drive the trucks, like, really like working on that tour. It's just, like, the quality of food is just so much higher.
What is the sickest you've ever been? 206-803-ROCK.
Not getting served meatballs and spaghetti from an idiot like me is my point.
Hello, Nate. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hey, guys. Hola, bichola.
Hola.
So, basically, last year, my kids gave me hand, foot, and mouth. So, typically, like, adults don't get it. They just had, like, a fever. My daughter had, like, a little bit of a rash. And we didn't really know what it was. And then I got a horrible fever. I was in bed all day, just in a fetal position. And then after that, I was fine. And I was like, oh, great, it's all done. And then I had, like, a little tiny pustule on my finger. And I'm like, oh, not bad. And then it started spreading. Like, I got it in my hair. It came down my face. It was, on my hands, underneath my feet. Ugh. And it was just everywhere, like all over my legs, not on my torso, just on my arms, my hands, on the bottoms of my feet were the worst, because just walking around on, like, the pustules was just nightmarish.
What exactly what is it? I've heard of it, but I mean, is it a bacterial infection? Is it a virus or what?
It's a viral infection. And, but yeah, I think only 1% of adults, like, get it. But, yeah, I was the lucky 1%. And then, even then, like, the pustules lasted about, like, a week, and they finally all died down. It was kind of like chicken pox.
So is there any...
I'm over it, and then I'm like, oh, thank God, like, that's done. But then, like, things downstairs started swelling up to the size of, like, softballs.
Oh, no.
4.
And then, like... And then after that, I'm like, okay, now surely this has to be over. And like,
Hello?
And of course, that's
laminating.
Oh, there we go.
you cut out there for a second. So it ends up going downstairs, and then what happened after
Yeah.
that?
So then after that, like a week later, my fingernails started like delaminating and like falling off.
Oh, my God.
Jesus, dude.
You got to be thinking you're dying at this point.
Had you been to the hospital yet?
No, because it's a viral infection, so they can't do anything for you, and they're just like and everything I read like online, they're just like you just have to wait it out. And there's so many people online that I was reading their things, and they're like, a lady's like, I've been pregnant 3 times. She's like, I would prefer being pregnant again than having this.
How long does it last?
There's not an antibiotic? Like a Z-Pack?
No, because it's viral, so it's yeah. There's nothing they could do. You just wait it out. But
how long did you have to wait? Like before it was finally done? After so many false starts too, thinking like, okay, it's over. Then it comes back. Anything it's over, then it comes back. So when it was all said and done, how long had you been dealing with that?
I'd say by the time like all my because it was weird. The fingernails, they delaminated from the top, so as they grow out, I started getting them caught on things, and they would like rip off and stuff.
Jesus.
And then the toenails went too. Like one night I was just in bed and I crawled in and the sheets like pulled one off.
Putting on a sock or some crap like that. You just rip one off. Yeah. Oh, man.
So, yeah, so it was just, and I see, like by the time I finally got done and said like all the toenails that fell off, it was probably about like 3 to 4 weeks, like all said and done.
Okay.
So can you get this again?
Yes.
All right.
So you're hoping it's the one and done like chicken pox or something?
That's I was hoping.
God.
Because chicken pox is a virus.
Right. That sounds awful, man.
What is the sickest you've ever been? 206-803-ROCK.
This is like we're like unlocking new fears I didn't know I had to.
I did not know that would bug me. You've heard about, foot and mouth disease, whatever. I'm like, all right, it is what it is. Then he describes it, and I'm like, I'm not okay with this. And also, he probably used the word pustule more than any caller we've had in 20 years. I know there's no other word, but like, bro, please stop saying that. Hello, Ken. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
So I died 3 times due to COVID.
You've died.
Yes. Complete flatlined. Was resuscitated each time, obviously, but
Obviously,
I was
yes.
legally dead for about 5 minutes each time.
So you've been dead a total of 15 minutes spread out over 3 separate areas.
Yes.
What is that experience like?
Honestly, I don't remember because
You were
when
dead.
I went in, they told me I had COVID. They put me up on the oxygen machines and were like, hey, we have to intubate you to give you a tube in your chest. I was like, okay, fine. Next thing I know, I wake up 6 months later.
6 months?
So this was more than one bout of COVID. You got it at separate times.
I honestly don't know. I like I said, I went in. Next thing I know, it's 6 months later. They had put me in a chemically induced coma. My left lung had filled with fluid, and they had to drain it. And I had flatlined 3 times on 3 separate occasions.
And they spent 5 minutes to bring your ass back.
Yeah.
Do they say, I mean, just as hey, doc, thank you. What's the timer on that? Like, is it 7.5 minutes of trying? Because 5 minutes in a situation like that is kind of a long time. So, like, do you know if they have any kind of, like, clock limit? You know what I mean? Like, how long do you go before you just give up?
Honestly, I don't know. I am grateful they brought me back each time.
For sure, for sure.
And the worst thing was this was at the height of COVID during the shutdown. So
no one to visit you or anything like that, right?
Yeah, I was alone in the hospital. When I woke up, the only other people that were there were the nurses that were coming in space suits and whatnot to check on me and make sure I was okay.
Did you, how long did it take you to learn to walk again?
Surprisingly, about 3 weeks.
Okay. That's not bad. Did you lose most of your body mass, muscle-wise?
Oh, yeah, I went from about 200. I'm 6 foot. I went from about 200, 210 ish to about 175.
Wow. So when you woke up, you didn't recognize yourself.
Were you married or anything at the time? Have kids?
Fiance was there. She was flipping out the entire time. My parents were flipping out the entire time. Most of my friends were already mourning me by this time. So when I came back, they were like, "Oh my God, you're Jesus."
Did you? I was going to say, did you look like Rip Van Winkle? I mean, they're not shaving you or anything, right?
Initially, they had shaved me. I did have a full beard, and they shaved me down to just a mustache. But by the time I came back, my full beard was back. My hair was long and tangled into a giant dreadlock in the back.
Did you start listening to reggae or anything? Does that work naturally like that?
No, but I do sing in a metal band now. So
Oh, okay. All right. Well, you can look like Korn. You know?
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, metal band.